Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and good evening. This is Ishan Isaac with Zishan on air, not only on traditional media, FM 95.1 FM and 1460 AM, but also through social media with our lot of different audience all over the world and also in Houston, Greater Houston area. So thanks for joining me live with Facebook Live as well as YouTube Live. And social media is definitely making a buzz these days, and we will get right into the key topics. But before we do that, I would like to first thank our great advertisers and sponsors. Because of them, this program is possible. And as you all know, there's a lot of head cost, the overhead costs for airtime and also for social media. So first, I would like to talk about AITinsurance.com, Affordable Insurance of Texas. You can get your auto insurance, your health insurance, even commercial insurance, and get the quotes in minutes. And you can contact them directly, 713-785-4000, 713-785-4000, that's the number. And you can also connect with them directly online through the World Wide Web, www.aitinsurance.com. So please contact Affordable Insurance of Texas. Another sponsor and advertiser of ours, Avesta Houston. Avesta Houston, they say we serve Persian and Middle Eastern cuisine. And when you go and mention Zishan on air, they will give you complimentary hot tea as well, and very delicious and food with aroma and I would say very good taste. If you really love Persian and Middle Eastern cuisine, I would highly recommend you. So visit them, on Westheimer and Wilcrest, 11165 Westheimer Road, Houston, Texas 77042. That's the number. That's the address, and their phone number is 713-781-5555, 713-781-5555, Avesta Houston, and you can also visit avestahouston.com. And also, I would like to welcome our new advertiser and a sponsor, Roop Sari Palace. If you are watching this through social media, you can even visit their website, www.roopsari.com. That's ROOPSARI.com. And those who are watching me live on social media, you can see their website, roopsari.com. And if you are in Houston, visit their location, which is very convenient located at Hillcroft, and their address is 6655 Harvard Drive. You cannot miss it. Men's shalwar kameez, kurta pajama, lots of varieties, and sherwani. That's right, sherwani, very traditional dress and beautiful dress, especially people who like to look very handsome and I would say classy. Hundreds of designs, and you can go and visit roopsari.com on the website, or Roop Sari Palace in Houston at the Hillcroft location, and that's at 6655 Harvin Drive. And Roop Sari Palace, men's shalwar kameez, kurta pajama, like I mentioned, and a lot of varieties, sherwani, and hundreds of designs. With that, I would like to talk about some of the key issues right off the bat, and that has to do with regards to the cabinet picks. One of the cabinet pick which was very problematic because even VP-elect J.D. Vance and Senator Marco Rubio, and then even Matt Gaetz, who is a former congressman, but he was actually nominated for the Attorney General position, very strong position, very important position, like a chief law enforcement officer. But because of the alleged allegations and one of the ethics report, which is about to come out with him having issues with the sexual assault as well as having sex with a minor under 18 at the age of 17. And there was one more person that was also mentioned with regards to some reporting that came out. And I would like to make sure that I also mention Mark Caputo. Mark Caputo, he's from the Bulwark Media, and he appeared on the POTUS, President of the United States Politics, on Mediaite's press club. And he was obviously asked about what's going on in the Donald Trump orbit, and Donald Trump is going to be Donald Trump. So he also mentioned that some of these picks were not jiving well because with the Senate Republicans and This is obviously an issue between Senate Republicans, Senate establishment Republicans, and then with Trump, and then with MAGA supporters. And Elon Musk is also playing a role, but at the same time, Trump is going to be Trump, and some of his picks, according to Mark Caputo, was not surprising, because that's basically what Trump is trying to do in terms of trying to shake up the Washington, D.C. politics. But at the same time, some of the other picks that I would like to talk about, for example, as you can see on the screen as well, Linda McMahon, she from the Worldwide Entertainment, the wrestling, right? And she also served under the first term of Trump, but this time nominated for Education Secretary. There have been talks about completely dismantling and eliminating and removing Department of Education. So that's going to be interesting. Pete Hegseth still continues to raise a lot of eyebrows with the Pentagon and Department of Defense, because he's been nominated for Defense Secretary, and he's very irked and very annoyed by the tattoos questions, because I discussed that last time. The replacement for the Attorney General position from Matt Gaetz now is the Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is the incumbent Attorney General for the state of Florida. Just to reiterate in terms of what has been reported by Mark Caputo and many mainstream and even in social media, Pam Bondi is the one who actually did not believe that in 2020 elections, President Trump lost the state of Pennsylvania. And she is on record to say that. So an election denier, an attorney general who has definitely, according to Mark Caputo, again, literally in love with the President-elect Trump as an uncle. He consider Trump very highly. In fact, in some of the attorney, even when she was the attorney general, still is with the state of Florida, she endorsed Trump as well, and did not endorse even Marco Rubio, who is also a senator from the state of Florida. So Trump obviously really value loyalty, and this is where these nominations, for example, RFK Jr., health secretary, somebody who's on record to basically say that he does not believe in vaccines. Now he's going to lead HHS. So these are some of the questions that independent-minded people and even some Republicans and obviously Democrats are asking. And then there are other picks, as you can see, people who have been in media and they're popular or they're on Fox News. Then they are the picks, like Dr. Mehmet Oz. He is going to lead Medicare and Medicaid organization and as the administrator. So that is important, right? Very important position. So let's see. The FDA pick here is Dr. Martin Makary, was chosen to be the leader of the FDA. And he obviously announced on Friday, President-elect Trump, that he would nominate Dr. Martin Makary, a Johns Hopkins University surgeon with a contrarian streak, to be the commissioner of the FDA, and he will work with the incoming HHS secretary RFK Jr. So let's see how that is going to shape up. And some other things and information I would like to report in a post on social media. Mr. Trump said FDA, quote, FDA has lost the trust of Americans and lost sight of its primary goal as a regulator, unquote. He said that Dr. Makary would work under Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the president-elect's choice for the cabinet-level role as health secretary, to, quote, properly evaluate harmful chemicals poisoning our nation's food supply and drugs, unquote. That's what President-elect Trump said. Then some other information with regards to Dr. Weldon. He is a physician and former congressman from Florida to lead the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. But for years, Dr. Weldon championed the notion that thimerosal, a preservative once used widely in vaccines, caused an explosion of autism cases around the world. In 2007, he backed a bill proposing to take vaccine safety research out of the hands of the CDC health officials, reject the idea that research shows any link between thimerosal and autism. So that's some other information. Dr. Janet Nashewet, a physician and Fox News contributor, another news media contributor, to be Surgeon General. She worked caring for patients after Hurricane Katrina, and an announcement from Mr. Trump said, on the front lines of the COVID pandemic in New York City. She also markets vitamin B and vitamin C dietary supplements. So these are the picks. And then Trump picked a key figure involved in Project 2025. If you all recall and remember, we discussed that too. It's real. And this is where this is a key figure who was involved in Project 2025 for a powerful budget role. And he's going to lead OMB, which is the Office of Management and Budget. So you will see some drastic changes coming near you in the very near future on the day of inauguration, when he will sign a lot of executive orders, and these are some of the people. So we are discussing this to give you the information and factual news right here with Zishan on here. And then even before Project 2025 became a campaign issue, and this was reported in New York Times as well, Mr. Watt's think tank was a home for proposals that were too radioactive, even among the highly conservative audiences. So I'm sharing this with you as well. And he also basically, Mr. Watt's group listed during the Insurrection Act to stop riots as a, quote, day one, unquote, idea, meaning one whose legal framework was already well established and which can be put into effect by a president unilaterally, according to an internal email from early 2023 received by the Times. So you need to contact the Times that they have reported this. Insurrection, quote, insurrection dash stop riots, unquote. That's day one easy, the email said. So these are the folks who will be in government. And then Mr. Bessent, he is another person nominated as the Treasury, and he is a billionaire. He was standing in the DNC committee that he hosted at his home in East Hampton, New York, with Vice President Al Gore during the 2000 presidential campaign. So this is another billionaire, and he is also somebody who's openly gay as well. And another thing to basically note, based on those conservatives and those people who obviously go after the marginalized communities, LGBTQ plus as an example. Then the Labor Secretary is basically Dr. Dave Weldon. She basically is the Congressman, Dr. Dave Weldon, actually director of the Center for Disease and Control that I mentioned, and then Chavez D. Ramirez. So Chavez is basically Trump's nominee for the Labor Secretary, and then just a little bit information about Scott H. Bessent. He is going to be the Treasury Secretary. He is also an American hedge fund manager, according to Wikipedia. He was a partner at Soros. Remember Soros, George Soros, one of the key figures that Fox News talks about it all the time as a boogeyman. So he actually was a partner at Soros Fund Management and the founder of Key Square Group, a global macro investment firm. Bessent has been a major fundraiser and donor for Donald Trump. He was an economic advisor for Trump's 2024 presidential campaign. So he is going to be the Treasury Secretary. And then on the global front, I would like to also talk about how China has already named 4 red lines. And last weekend, President Xi from China met US President Joe Biden at the 31st APEC Economic Leaders Meeting in Lima, Peru. And he told Washington not to cross, quote, 4 red lines, unquote, which analysts say is a clear message for the incoming Trump administration. The 4 hot button issues are Taiwan, democracy and human rights, China's path and system, and the country's rights to development. And he basically said, Xi said, quote, these are the most important guardrails and safety nets for China-US relations, unquote. Xi said, according to a readout from the Chinese Foreign Ministry. So we have to keep these key information, and especially what China is also saying, in mind, because President Trump already said that he's going to impose 60% tariff on Chinese products and goods. So that means that the prices will in fact even be higher, because every manufacturer, every supplier, they will not absorb those costs. They will pass it on to us as consumers. So this is where I want you to be aware of this, raise these questions as well, because these are important positions. And as citizens and as taxpayers and as, I would say, the as citizens of the country, we should keep an eye and hold our local, state, and federal officials accountable. And the landmark victory, and especially the landslide victory, as people have been saying, that's good. But people did not also vote to nominate these people who President-elect Trump is nominating. Obviously, there's a trust that is given to the people, and then in return, we expect that the leaders, they make the right judgment calls. In fact, one of the key issues also about public information officers that a lot of people say, and has been reported as well in social media and many chatter, that sometimes the information is not shared with the public, especially those who work for the federal government, and these are public information officers. So there was this talk that why don't we replace all of them with even AI, so at least the information can be shared with people. So we will see some changes. Some, I would say, we have to be cautiously optimistic about, some maybe not so cautiously optimistic, and those who care deeply for the country, we have to continue to stay engaged, and civil engagement is important. So with that, I will sign off from the social media. And again, thank you to all of our advertisers and sponsors. And if you would like to be part of Zishan On Air, advertising on Zishan On Air on traditional media as well as through social media, then please connect with me directly. And very easy to reach me is through the direct number I'm giving you, 281-223-1214. I will repeat that, 281-223-1214. And then those who are watching me live on social media, they can certainly reach out to me, to us, through social media at Zishan On Air on YouTube, or through Instagram at Zishan On Air, or on Facebook, Zishan Issac. So with that, I'm signing off from social media.